What does Trump do? I mean, 2016, it was his tweets that got him around the back of all the mainstream media that reached, what has he got, 88 million followers, I think it is. But he's got his own platform, Truth Social, which is a fraction of that size. What does Trump do, in your view?
So that's always been his superpower, to evade the mainstream media and go directly to voters. Something that he mastered. It's something that President Bolsonaro in Brazil helped to take to another level. I happen to be sitting across from someone who, in the political realms, has been an expert themselves. And you're pretty darn good as far as communicating with people via social media. President Trump has his own company. That puts him in a little bit of a pickle. I think at a certain point, there's probably a bit of a divergence on what's the priority for 2024, and then what is he going to do with regard to his company. Hopefully there's a way that he can do both. I want to see him be successful, but that vehicle, that many tens of millions of people, is a great amplifier and a way to evade having to deal with the Washington Post, the New York Times.
Last week he announced at Mar-a-Lago he's running again in 2024. It was a slightly more muted atmosphere than it was in 15, 16 as that campaign picked up. Ron DeSantis, 44 years old, a different generation, in prospect, not just for the Republican Party, but for American politics, which frankly looks, to us on this side of the pond, we can't believe everyone's over 75. It's extraordinary. Can he beat DeSantis in the primaries?
I think so. He's done it on the national stage before, winning the primaries in 2016 and 2020. Obviously, he won in 2016 the general against Hillary Clinton. And now with polling for 2024, it shows that he's beating Joe Biden in Arizona, Wisconsin, and Georgia, tied up in Pennsylvania. Nigel, there are two keys coming out of the speech, though, to make sure folks in the UK here understand what he was trying to accomplish. One was motivate his base, show that he's the anti-Washington guy. He could deliver that message in 2016. It was harder in 2020 because he was in the White House. Tough to say you're an outsider when you're in the White House. The second thing, though, and to your point about maybe the conversation seemed a little bit more muted, he had to make sure that he connected with voters on the economy, on inflation, didn't talk about past grievances, looked forward. There was a deliberate move, and I don't say that just because I helped work with him on the product, but I think it was very focused.
So less about the stolen election, you mean?
There wasn't anything about it. In his remarks on Tuesday, it was completely forward-looking. He made a crack a little bit about 2016 or 2020, but it was forward-looking, and I would much rather have the criticism be that maybe it was a little bit more muted than to say he was addressing past grievances.